Energy today, which is what I was hoping that they'd do, and we jumped right into what we call a move the ball period right after special teams, and got about 35 plays of just situation work where I'll kind of call out a down and distance in the field position. The offense will sub, the defense has to match their sub, and we kind of go. So I think it's a really good way to start practice after the afternoon off. We went up to Bruin Woods yesterday at Lake Arrowhead, and it was pretty darn cool. It was, first of all, it was nice and cool up there. Our guys got a chance to get in Lake Arrowhead. We got a chance to do a little meet and greet with a lot of UCLA fans. It was a real spur-of-the-moment deal. Will Petty set it up and did a great job, so I think our players appreciated that. We did some good 2-minute into-the-game situations today, 2-minute and 4-minute, where we either were behind or we had the lead, and trying to get those guys just to think instinctively about how they're going to react in certain situations. And what I saw today was real improvement over last time, just in terms of knowledge of the situation and understanding of how we're supposed to react in that situation. We're practicing stuff that may or may not come up, but if it comes up, we want to be well trained in it. And then it's stuff we hit every week during the season on a Friday, just as a reminder. And then we did the young guys move the ball at the end. And you know what we're trying to do is develop that depth, and I think the more we can get those guys in situations like we did today, where it's a whole bunch of young guys out there, you don't see coaches on the field, and we're doing the substitution from the sideline and kind of forcing them to be out there on their own. I think you're going to see those guys make progress. Simon, I think he should be back out there tonight. We gave him trouble because Tom Brady didn't miss a practice with a little knee thing, and Simon did. But he's feeling good. It's wrapped up. He rode the bike. Eddie's back out working. As you guys noticed, he didn't quite understand the tempo there, and he got a little bit aggressive. So we sent him off for a couple plays, but he came out and told me after practice he feels good. So I think we just have to really kind of work him back in at a not a snail's pace, but at a pace where we don't overload him too early. But you can certainly see the level of ability. We just keep making progress, and that's what we have to do.
With Eddie, is that almost to be expected that he's going to just try to show you guys everything in one day that he can do with being a freshman?
It goes back to the summer workouts, and talking to Coach Alosi the other day, he said, Eddie's the type of guy that if you're doing a med ball throw against a wall, every time he throws it, he's trying to knock the wall down. That's just Eddie's personality. So I don't even think that he's trying to show us anything. I think it's just him instinctively. And then I say, okay, you have to slow down. And then he's walking. I see, okay, there's a happy medium in there. Let's find it. We got to learn it. But I would much rather have it be the way it is, where he's going too hard and you have to pull him back a little bit, than having to always be on him to go faster. I'm excited to watch him play.
So you got after him a little bit situationally. And would you say that they're getting tired mentally, or would you say that was still pretty good?
I thought it was really good today. Yesterday, I thought we were really mentally tired. Today, I thought we were sharp mentally. The players were. They were on it. They did a good job. Because what I'll do is sometimes I'll huddle them up and I'll give them the situation and I'll say, okay, what do we do here? Because it might be a situation we would call no moss, where let's say we have a 1-point lead. There's a minute left in the game. Our opponent doesn't have a timeout, and we break one, or on defense we intercept it. We don't want to score in that situation, because 1 point, you score, kick an extra point. Now you got an 8-point lead, and you got to kick it off, and you're giving your opponent an opportunity to get the ball. So, instinctively, what you do if you break it or you intercept it is you're going to try to score. So you just got to train them on little things like that. We worked on that fast break, which we used last year against somebody. It might have been Oregon State at the end of the game. Just different situations. We talked about this the other day, but that whistle play now, where if there's 3 seconds or less than 3 seconds on the play clock and you spike it, they're going to run the clock out. So now you have to have a play down the field. And, you don't have a chance during the game to go to stop play and explain it to them. So you have to do it out here, and you just have to keep ingraining it in them, and I think they're getting it.
Was it feel a little peculiar trying to find a quarterback to come in there and throw an interception?
Yeah, they didn't like that. Jerry, because I had to get Jerry to do it, and Jerry says he threw it. He goes, I really hate that. I really hate that feeling. And, it's kind of like, I'm trying to find, believe it or not, I'm trying to find a situation where we can do the let them score on defense. Remember the Green Bay and Denver Super Bowl? But to get your starting defense out on the field and say, okay, guys, today on this play we're going to let them score is like contradictory to anything that they would think, and so it's dicey. So we haven't done it yet. I can't figure out how to do it. I don't know if I will.
Well, that's a
but
tricky,
I've thought about it.
That's a tricky thing, though, too, because you can't look like you're totally floppy. I mean, it doesn't look good on TV.
No, but it doesn't look good on TV. But if it pays off for you and you win the game because of it, then it's good. But it's more just the mindset of a defensive player. What do you mean let them score? What are you talking about? So you have to go slow with that one. We're going to vote on captains this afternoon at our 2 o'clock team meeting. We won't announce them for a couple days. We'll announce them to the team probably when we get back to school on Sunday. We'll have a meeting Sunday. But it'll be interesting to see where we go with that. I'll be interested to see how the vote goes.
Any chance you'll use your veto power on this?
I don't think so. I don't think this year I'll have to. I think that it was different last year with Brett. I think he'd just been named the starting quarterback, and it just felt like it would just be too much on his plate. We're going to do it a little different this year, though, than we have. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with 3 offensive captains and 3 defensive captains, and then every week name a special teams captain. When you don't have a Jeff Locke and you don't have a Kevin McDermott and you don't have a David Allen, we had some really prominent special teams, Dalton Hilliard, guys that were really established. This year we're going to be so young on special teams that I can't really identify anybody, so I don't want to force the issue with them.
Will there be schooling just to make sure the referees understand what you want to do, kick off or receive?
Yeah. After that, the Arizona State game, actually, they put a rule in place where they come in the locker room beforehand and they ask you what you want to do. So
I was the smartest guy on the team got that wrong last year.
He did not.
I know,
They
it's
got it
all right,
wrong.
I know.
Protect him, even though he's a Minnesota Viking now.
On the subject of special teams, do you have any updates on the kick return situation?
No.
You used it a lot last year.
My attention right now has been more on the punter and the kicker and the snapper than the returner, just because I feel like we've got some guys back there that can do it. I think Shaq can do it, Randall can do it. I think that a couple of those young guys, Jalen Ortiz and Darren Andrews, might have a chance to do it. When Thigpen gets back, he can do it. I think Steven Manfro, will put him back in there again, even though last year had a couple mishaps on punts. I think he learned from those things. So I think we've got a whole bunch of guys back there that can do it. I'm not sure we'll settle on one guy until probably game week.
Okay.
Right now, more of my concern is who's going to snap it and who's going to punt it or kick it. So,
how satisfied have you been with the cleanness of the snaps for field goals and punts?
I don't think we're even close to where we need to be. The operation between the snap, the hold, and the kick has to be just flawless, because that's where your kicker gets his rhythm. And right now, it's not. It's flawless. It's not a Kevin McDermott to Jeff Locke operation yet. It's guys that haven't done it much. I feel really good about Jerry Neuheisel as our holder, and I think having a quarterback as a holder will enable us to maybe do some fakes, break the formation, do some things like that. But I just feel like we've got to find the right snapper. I think Longo's doing a good job, but I just want to see more consistency out of him.
But besides experience, what do you see this team missing Jonathan Franklin the most at?
Oh shoot, I think a lot. Okay, you take talent and experience away from it, and leadership, and then how you define leadership, and how he defined leadership was his example of work ethic, of attitude, of always jumping in the special teams drills, of going full speed all the time, always being upbeat, bringing guys together. Jonathan on campus was a different kind of guy. He's very high profile, but he was never standoffish. He was a really great ambassador, I thought. He would talk to anybody. I think we have some guys that have those qualities, and I think that they'll start to really come out. I think Brett has those qualities, but Brett has a little bit more on his plate because he's the quarterback, and there's more going on in his mind on a daily basis with regards to playing football. But I think that you have to let that stuff kind of happen. You have to channel it in the right way, but you can't force it. So,
in terms of the run game itself, what kind of aspect of his game do you think you might miss most? Is it his pass blocking? Is it?
Yeah, pass blocking. I think. Yeah, he was. I think one of the reasons that Jonathan's going to be such a great pro is that he can protect on third down. And so, you know, you're always looking for that guy. And in the pros, the blocking schemes are so much more complex than they are in college. And the defenses you're facing and the pressures they're bringing are more complex. And Jonathan can decipher all of that stuff very quickly and get to the right guy. And I think that's going to really help him at the next level. You know, we've got some guys that haven't done it as much, although I'll tell you this, that Jordan James is doing an excellent job in pass protection right now. So, but we'll miss that. And then I think, you know, Jonathan had such great hands coming out of the backfield catching the ball, you know. And Jonathan was good down inside the 5. Even though he wasn't a big guy, he could find the crease and get into the end zone. You know, Jonathan did a great job his senior year taking care of the football. I don't know, did he fumbled once, I think, all year maybe, right? You know, so I think we're going to miss a lot of things about him, but we can't keep looking back at that. We just got to keep trying to develop guys to take his place.
Do you have any work groups right now for certain situations like goal line? Or
Any what now?
Any like work groups for guys that might specialize in things like goal line or third down?
Yeah, we haven't really, we haven't put Cassius and Anthony Barr and Miles Jack, those kind of guys on offense yet. We'll do that as we get closer to the season. You know, right now we just need to develop the schemes. And then we have an idea of who we want to use in certain situations, those special situations we're talking about, but we haven't worked those guys in yet.
How did Kenny Lacy do the ones?
You know, he did okay. He struggled a little bit. I think, you know, he took a lot of reps and he wore down. I think he felt the pressure a little bit, but I think it's going to be a great growing experience for him. You know, just like Caleb. You know, you see Caleb have a really good day and then kind of a marginal day, and then he spikes again. And, you know, when you get a young, talented guy like that, it's fun to get him in there because you can see the upside, but at the same time, you know, they struggle at times. You know, they feel a little bit more pressure when they've got Brett Hundley behind them, you know, and they're with the ones. So, but we'll keep getting those guys work.
What's the situation with Jeremy Castro at this point?
He has not been cleared by the university yet.
You expecting that soon?
I don't know, and I'm quite frankly I'm not allowed to talk about it other than to say he's not been cleared by the university yet. You know, just hope the best for him.